Hello and welcome back to this week's vlog. You'll have noticed there's been a gap because I was off for a week, so there was no weekly vlog last week, but I'm pretty sure you'll be impressed with some of the footage we've got. We're at the car show, the Festival of the Unexceptional. What else did I put on? The reveal of the ZX. Let us know what you think of that. A lot of you already have on the comments. And what else was that? Oh yeah, obviously getting this back, the Cherokee, and the van's gone to Chris. As you know, if you're a big fan of the van, it hasn't gone forever. More than likely get it back at some point. The same as if you are a fan of the Jeep, getting this back. I've explained my reasons. Like I've said, the van was fantastic, but I just didn't have that third seat. And there was some dealings between me and Chris. It was easier just to get the Jeep back. He gets the Fiesta, puts him in a better position to buy other cars. So it worked out good all round, because now I've got something I can put the dogs in, I can take the kids out in. If I've got to go when it's hot, it's got nice air conditioning, it's got cruise control, heated seats for the winter. And as you've seen, the boot buddy that I got for the van, obviously I've kept that, and I think it's done quite a good in the Jeep. This bit here actually does just need pushed across, but it's not bad, because when I've got the puppy in the back, he likes to have a bit chew, so it just gives us a little bit of an area to put me. See, Millers, always use that. And this has got like a plug-in thing here for the cool box, so I'm not too bothered about that. Had the air conditioning regassed on this. Well, it didn't need regassed, it just needed serviced yesterday. I've never known a vehicle take 120ml of oil in the air conditioning system, which I'm really pleased I went and got it done now. Like I keep saying, when you do your just because the aircon works, there's oil in there as well, which regularly needs replenished, so which obviously keeps the compressor lubricated. So for the Jeep, not a lot. All I'm going to do, I've cleaned the wheels up on it, do the tyre pressures. I think it needs a little tiny drop of oil in, top that up, and it's going off the storage for this month, because I don't have space, because I've got so many cars at the minute. So this, luckily, as you know, I got me caravan storage off a pal who's got a garage, but the caravan's not there at the moment, it's at home. So the Jeep is going up there until I start moving on a couple of cars. So again, if any of you guys are interested in a couple of them, let us know. Obviously the Fiesta's gone now. The Jeep obviously isn't for sale, neither's the Mercedes ML, because I use that for towing. Before anybody says you've got the Jeep, use the Jeep to tow to the Mercedes. The Mercedes is a much bigger, heavy-duty car with huge Brembo brakes on. It is by far the better tow car. I'm not saying this wouldn't, but it's just nowhere near as big. So that's out. Anyways, a couple of things I need to run through. This week, I'm going to try and keep it short for a couple of reasons. Number one is some absolute idiot has wiped out the exchange box where I live. So we are going to be without internet at home now for, they say Friday. No way. There's not even anything going on there today. I've got a feeling we're going to be without internet for pushing, I think, 10 working days, maybe 2 weeks longer, before we get any kind of broadband at home. Yes, we've got broadband, I think. Do you know what it is? I haven't even checked. I think the broadband's okay here at the garage. So my issue is uploading videos. As you know, we don't have live TV at home anymore. I don't have an aerial or a Sky Dish or nothing. All of the TV we watch are Netflix, YouTube. It's all through the internet. So naturally, it's really caused us problems at home. A, for me uploading my videos. B, for just for me kids to watch the TV, or just us to watch TV at nights. We're having to use our mobile phones is a hotspot, but obviously that's hammering our data. And of course, typically, we're both midway through our exchange for the data renewal. So, and we've been away in the caravan twice. So I'm down to about, not much, put it that way. I don't think it'll last. So excuse if there's any delay in videos for the next couple of weeks. I've really only got here if the work at work, but I'm most certainly not sitting down here for hours waiting for a video to upload when I could be at home. So anyways, that's enough of that. I hope you've enjoyed the Festival of the Unexceptional. Like I said, sitting there, talking to Richard Hammond, John Bentley, who else was there? Mike Brewer. Definitely turned out to be a good weekend. And I'm currently going to make a few phone calls this afternoon and hopefully maybe get some storage for the ZX so that I don't have to leave that outside over the winter, and really go to town with it and get it, you've seen the little marks on the doors, and really get it tip top. It would just be nice to have a vehicle where it's a stone's throw from where I live, stone's throw from where I work, just to do stupid jobs like I want to do the wiper on it. It would be nice to go up there, remove the wiper, bring it to the garage and be able to do it here without having the car in the way. We'll see. I don't hold much hope because I know there's a queue the length of your arm to get rental garages. But we'll see. So what have I got in today? Today's been a bit of a mismatch because I was meant to have keys left with us because a guy's on holiday for 2 weeks, which has never been dropped in, which means now we've got a whole with bits here, front springs, strut top bearings, discs and pads, drop links, and it's not turned up and the rest of the week's fully booked. So unfortunately he's lost his slot and he's got to get back off his holders and have to probably wait in another couple of weeks and probably have to take time off work. So that's a cock-up. So we've managed to find cars to pull in. So we've got this 3 Series, I think it is, BMW. It's got the famous 2 litre. I think it's the N97 or there's a code behind them. Be careful with these 2 litre BMW diesels with time and chain issues. Make sure they've either been recalled or they're past the date they were changed. I'm not hugely clued up on them, but I just know these are a big problem. Any of the BMs with the 2 litre diesel, just make sure before you buy them they've been done. But apart from that, this is in just for MOT. Nothing to really speak of. Apart from one thing I want to show you. These things here now, be very careful. Obviously they're run flats, awful. But these star rated tyres, some of them now are beginning to actually have microchips in the rubber, believe it or not, to be tuned into the car. Honestly, that's not a joke on the more newer high-end stuff to this. But star-rated tyres are becoming very, very expensive. So anything with run flats or star-rated tyres, just be careful. Like I say, as well as this engine hasn't got a dipstick, so we can't check the oil. So we've got to go faffing on inside the car just to check the oil, which is part of the MOT. Some random blue line across the interior. Not really sure that's in fitting with the whole grey car, but this is what you call stylish in today's terms. One thing I do like about this, I will say, it's got a proper handbrake. That is lovely to see. So it's a nice automatic with a hand-controlled handbrake. Lovely. I do like to see that. That's one thing I will give the thumbs up to this vehicle. Yeah, 320 auto. So that's that. What we've got here, I'll show when it's on the lift. It's very similar to mine. It'll be the C220. But this would be classed as the C-Class Coupe, but the newer shape one. Not much different to what I've got, the older shape. This is the newer shape, but this is the Coupe, not the hatchback. They did do what they call the Sports Coupe in this. This is the full Coupe. I can't tell you much about it. I've never had it in before, never worked on it. I just know it's got the same engine as what's in mine, the 2.1 CDI. It's in, I think there's something binding on the back brakes, I believe, so they need to be looked at, but it all looks pretty brand new to me. Brand spanking new pads in the back, as you can see down there. So I don't know if it's a tight caliper or something. And a service, oil filter and air filter in a quick check over. We've got this in. This is my friend Sean's car. He's not interested in cars whatsoever, so he probably doesn't watch the channel. This is in for MOT. Typical Honda. Apart from anything that's been physically damaged, it probably will be okay, like what most of these are. I do like this shape Civic, but they're still a little bit too expensive for me to be getting along the lines of me projects, so to speak. The only thing I've really spotted is that tyre, which I need to take a closer look at. We'll have a proper inspection of the brakes on the lift, and he said he's bumped it at the front here, but it's just superficial damage. It's nothing to do with the MOT. There's nothing hanging off, no sharp edges, nothing like that, so that's not part of the test. So if there's anything of interest to show you on the Merc and on the Civic, I shall come back in and I'll show you. I'm not sure what yet. I haven't worked on them. Same with the Civic until it's on the lift. We won't know. So I'll leave that one there. Sorry to ramble on for 10 minutes, but I obviously explain a few things to keep things clear. I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope everybody's been enjoying my videos that I've used as a stopgap for my weekly vlog. There is one thing I want to go through. There's one guy in particular mentioned this, and the odd person does mention my projects. You're saying it's a bit like baking a cake and then not showing the end result. I'll tell anybody how it tasted, so excuse my way of putting that. My projects are projects to me. As you guys know, if you've watched my channel from the beginning, I do not get, for example, like this Astra here, or the Jeep behind us, and do a full nut and bolt restoration. I don't do 20, 30 videos on a car showing every single thing that I do, because as you know, I do work in between when I get free time. So sometimes I have to get on and do it, because when you record something, it takes twice, 3 times the amount of time it would otherwise. So just a few people have said, like, oh, you don't show the end result of a project, so therefore it isn't a project. It's a project to me. I generally buy a car with faults or issues or no issues, and I improve on it. Like, for example, the C-Class, the speaker on the door, I've got those to upload. The speaker in the door, the grille was smashed. I've took all the door card apart, ordered new parts, fixed it. You've seen everything I've done to the Jeep over the times. So when I call it a project, it's not like when you're watching, for example, Richard Hammond, who I've just met, he's Smallest Cog, where they get a car in and they strip it down to flipping the chassis. You know, it's what you call a things do unexpectedly, or somebody, one of my friends like Chris, who I know is going to look after it, offer to buy it, and then I get something else, because I'm pretty sure if I started doing 30 or 40 videos on the Jeep or something, you'd sharp get bored if that's not your thing. So unfortunately, no, I can't do that because I don't have time. I don't have time to do loads of videos. I'll do 1 or 2 or 3 videos on one particular car, showing you how it is, and then, like I've said, in amongst this, on weekly vlogs, I normally give an update of how things are going. But for the record, the guy was referring to me Freelander. I actually did 7 videos on that, which is a lot more than I normally do. So yeah, just so you know, if you read my main description of the channel, it's an everyday vlog. Working life in a garage and my personal projects, what they are projects to me. Some cars like the C-Class and the ZX require very little. Other cars like the van and the Civic and stuff like that, I did a lot of work on them, like, you know, condensers, front ends off, you know, more in-depth work. So just wanted to go through that and explain that one. I'm pretty sure 90% of my viewers fully understand that. I've got to keep moving things on. I've got to keep new content coming for my own sake, for you as a viewer, so you're not stuck looking at the same car all the time. And thirdly, if I went piling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds doing a full restoration on a car, like for example that Freelander, I would lose thousands of pounds, because it's worth what it's worth. It's, you know, a Freelander's only, you know, worth what it is. If I strip every single component down just to show you guys on YouTube, you know, like, what would be the point in that? Like, why would I strip the back brakes down and replace them if they didn't need it? Why would I randomly fit new parts to the engine if they weren't required? So naturally, you've got to understand, I can't just do all the jobs on every car if they don't need doing. And I'm pretty sure you guys know as well, I'm not a millionaire on here. I get a basic wage working in the garage, and YouTube, what they pay is minimal. It barely covers me fuel. Quick update on Tuesday's vlog. Trying to keep it relatively quick because obviously I've had a big enough intro to normal, and like I mentioned, with internet reasons, thought I'd show the Civic. Checked it over, no problem. Most it needed was a set of wiper blades, so that's fine. The brake pads are wearing a bit thin, but it's fine for MOT. It'll come in a few weeks for a set of front and rear pads. Discs were fine. This C-Class, we've got it in. Reports of rear brakes binding. We've had the back wheels off, stripped the pads down, cleaned out that they're like drums. They're a drum within a disc for the handbrake. I personally think with that, because if you look on these, on the Mercedes, that is your handbrake, your parking brake, and that was just slightly clicked down. And obviously you pull this lever, and when I pulled it, it just popped up a little bit. I think that's just being caught. Because there was no signs of the back brakes being tight or anything, but as customer request, we've stripped them down, fully checked them, so they're done. The only thing I've found safety-wise is this tyre at the front, which I've marked. Of course, I bet you the place it's marked. Oh, yeah, perfectly. I'll just pause it and typically it had to be right at the bottom. It's a nasty bleb. I don't know if you can see the profile of that on this tyre, so that's far from ideal. Don't know if it's damaged the rim at all, but it's certainly distorted it. So that's going to have to be sorted. So on with the servicing. See, I've got the oil filter out. I want to just speak to you quickly about that. This here is a man filter, as you know. New seals on here, here, here. Always make sure you change them all. These filters have more of a fabric, cardboardy kind of top to them. It's hard to explain. And they go on and off, no bother. So that's why I always use these ones. But the Bosch ones, I'm not calling Bosch in a way, but these have a hard plastic top. And they get really, really tight, which in turn damages this central tube that runs down them. So always, if you can, try and use the ones. And it's sometimes hard to know because you won't know, you've already bought it and opened the box. Try to use the ones with the more softer material. I always tend to find they come off quick, they come up about quicker. But if you look at that, you've got to really pull on at them to get them off. They're a nightmare. And you can't go prying on at them because you'll damage the plastic housing, which you don't want to do. So that's that. That's just to go back into here. Air filter is absolutely filthy. I've been meaning to ask this guy who's supposed to have been servicing it and when, but that's not good. When we come, and it's a cheapy Wix. I know anybody in America are watching this and you're going, it's original equipment. My rules are, until I see one of these coming out of the factory and getting a Mercedes part or an old Mercedes part out the car and it says Mercedes-Benz Wix, then I will say it's original equipment. Until then, as we all know, MAN and Bosch is the stuff that you see coming out of brand new cars I'm servicing, like 1-year-old cars and stuff I'm ordering in from the dealers. So I'll have a quick look at this without getting, because my hands are a bit ming, just to show you all the new. I think you can agree there's a lot of difference there. So again, this is the proper MAN one, and as you can see with these weird kind of filters, they're all housings and everything, and it's much better dealing with these for original quality. So there's that. There's a little bit of an oil leak somewhere down here at the turbo or a boost pipe or something, which needs further investigation, but up to now this car was only in for a service and brakes. To start stripping down under there, as you can see it just down there, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, you can just see a bit of wetness down there, of damp just. Again, it's not just a 2-minute job, it needs all stripped down, everything off. I've had a look while I've been underneath draining the oil, but that's not a great deal to actually see. Got to reset the service light with the scanner. You've seen how we do them on the Mercedes. It's service A, service B and all that. We'll do that. And I've done all the basics, like a full safety check underneath. Check the antifreeze, brake fluid, all that malarkey, screen wash. So that's all done. So I'm keeping this one short. Get this back together, get the service light reset, and get it out the door. And if he wants to come back in and have a look where this oil leak's coming from, then we can. So there we go. I'll leave this one, excuse me. I'll leave this one here and I'll catch you on Wednesday's vlog. Hello, welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. I'll show you what I've been up to. Pretty much fighting the usual things with new cars and complications, which really shouldn't be there in the first place, but hey ho, that's the way new things are. So I just want to go through some, obviously you know my Mercedes, the C-Class, which is an 05 plate. That's your typical C220 2.1 diesel, like I was told you. Mine is like a Euro 4 with a DPF. And you've seen the engine, when I've done a little bit of work on that, it's okay, you know, like relatively simple enough. Then you've got what the Mercedes we had in yesterday, which you've seen, that's a Euro 5, and this one is the Euro 6 version of that engine. So you can compare development. Now this is, as you can see, a lot more complex. Wires, pipes, 2 coolers, you name it. And this is your Euro 6. Now, yes, it's all nice to have an eco-friendly car, but in fact, you don't even get free tax once you get to a certain year. You start paying again. But you've just got sensors. Like I said, this is some kind of charge cooler, intake cooler. You've got your EGR cooler. They've got little sensors everywhere, pipes, you name it. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you. So anyways, with this, we've been on with the oil and filter, which is relatively simple. Air filter. So again, somebody hadn't actually fitted on this intake pipe properly. It was loose, so I don't know how it hasn't been setting engine management lights off. New air filter, and one of the most awkward fuel filters I've done in a while. Just for the sake of having it rammed under there. I don't know why they didn't have it here, or there, or underneath. So they rammed it underneath. Believe it or not, the hardest part of it is those clips. If they'd just been your average kind of clip, which I don't think Mercedes use very many of, because I would have shown you otherwise, just a normal type, you just squeeze in and you pull them off, happy days. But they use these kind of stupid compression fitments, which is all good if the filters here. You can use the special tools, which are these. So everybody goes, oh, you need special tools to run a garage. Yeah, you do. Like things like this. These are special pliers for dealing with those. But they're only good if you can get in there. And as you can see, you can't, especially the back one, you can't actually get into them because of the design of the filters. So that doesn't make it easy. Then you've got this metal clamp, which you can't get out the way properly without it falling down. And then you've got the sensor, which will be easier to show you on this one, at the back, which has a little pipe that comes off and runs just to about there, as you can see, which is really awkward to try and get it out. And then you've got to change little clips over. There's little O-rings, sensors within the filters, which aren't cheap. So yeah, just to show you just the absolute disregard the people who have to work on these cars when they're designed. And this is a regular change item, to keep them right. So again, this car hasn't been particularly, to say it's been serviced at a main dealer, using unbranded parts, which look to me like they haven't been changed for a while, which he's been getting big bills from them. So there's your air filter. The oil filter was non-branded as well. That's away. And the only thing that is branded, which I will say, is the fuel filter, a Bosch one. Which probably because cheap companies don't make the ones like these with sensors in it, it'll have to be a Bosch or a MAN or whatever. So just be careful there, because I've noticed, and when you're getting service plans and your car isn't under warranty, i.e. older than 3 years or 5 years, whatever brand of car you've got, I've noticed, and I have seen with my own eyes, dealerships are ordering in like cheap parts, like unbranded stuff. Not saying there's really anything wrong, like Crossland and there's other Hearth and Bus and stuff, things I wouldn't even fit with a £100 banger. I'm seeing piles and piles of these parts just sitting around, and I'm thinking, it's not good when it's a dealership. I'm talking proper dealerships here, not aftermarket sales places, real dealerships. And that's kind of answers my question, what gets fitted. So there you go. That's meant to have been all fully done. That filter possibly was done. I don't know. I haven't looked properly at it. It will have been changed, obviously, like I've mentioned, because the cheap ones weren't available. I think the majority of this has been oil and air filters done. But it just gets, as you can see, these are the type of things that I can kind of see why a lot of places miss or leave them till the very maximum amount of time, i.e. like 40,000 mile or something stupid like that. But I wouldn't recommend that. You will cause problems if you leave them too long. It's not the worst by far. Honda Civic and CR-Vs, they are horrendous to do. They're not bad. If they just had a simple speed fitment on the pipe instead of a clamp, it wouldn't be too bad. So that's this done. Full engine service. You'll recognise this car. Had all the new brakes a few weeks ago. The cross-drilled ones, as you can see. The springs and all the rest of it were done. I need to reset the service light on it, which Mercedes are a bit awkward. We've got this Peugeot, I forgot what these are even are, 207. This has got a knock and rattling on the front, but it needed brakes, so it's had new front discs and pads. It's getting new drop links fitted. And these are a really awkward type, because if you look, they've got a slight offset to them, and they're really difficult to distinguish what is the top, what's the bottom, and what's left and what's right. So this has got a knocking noise. It probably could be the top strut bearings, but it's had new shockers and new springs. And this guy's already had the head gasket done on this, so it's like, I don't think he wants to spend a lot of money, and the knocking noise when you're driving is quite minimal. So I think we'll get the important things done, discs and pads, drop links, give it a test drive, and then go from there. As you can see, we've got the springs and the strut top kits, but we're just trying to be sensible. Like, the guy doesn't want to spend much money. It's got a bit of an oil leak. It's had the head gasket done. So, just trying to be, he's my neighbour as well, just trying to be reasonable. But these were the discs, as you can see. They look all great on, well, not all great, but okay from this edge. But when you flick them over, you see they're getting really rough on the inside. Especially that one, terrible. It was making like a scuffing noise when he was driving. So obviously they've been done. We'll give it a test drive shortly. And hopefully he'll get away with just doing the drop links. I can't really contact them being on holiday, so hey ho. But that's it. Service reset on this. And that's pretty much it for today. I just thought I would show you what's in. Not a great deal to say. There is one thing I want to run through with you guys, totally unrelated to the garage stuff. I'm going to try and split these up to be a bit on a personal side as well as just cars. I want to quickly explain this to you. What do you guys think? Me and Holly decided to book up a one night, it's like a cruise experience, you know, cruise liner ships. This went a week ago, a week past Friday now, and I'm still faffing on with it. We booked it up. It's a one night experience. Naturally, a proper cruise is a lot of money, and me and Holly are both a bit, as you know, mum and dad went on a one. We're a little bit like, oh, it's a lot of money, we're not sure what it would be like. And what's happening in April 2023, they are offering a one night stay. So basically, for us, it's just a nice drive to the North Shields, 15 minutes. You arrive about tea time, you come on board, there's a 5-course meal, evening entertainment, you spend the night, you get up, you have your breakfast, and then you disembark. I think that's about £120 each for the night, and I thought that'll be a good thing because it'll be shit hot, because they'll want you to be impressed to return to do a proper cruise. The ship doesn't move anywhere, nothing like that. So we're seeing the advert, Here's Travel, on the Facebook, Reddit, seeing what it said. Happy days. I rang them up and they says, yes, do you want to book, sir? Yep, no problem. They says, just go onto our Facebook page and send us a messenger message with you and your partner's name, date of birth, address, contact details, blah blah blah, everything that they require for a booking. So I did that, no problem. They sent us back the price, £119. Are you okay to go ahead? Yes. My phone rang, took payment, job done. We arranged people for the kids, for the dogs for when we're away. Holly booked in time off holidays, blah blah blah. 15-20 minutes later, got a message through on Messenger. Are you both fully vax? Fully vax? I said, yep. I says, we've had 2 jabs, fully vaccinated. We've both got our COVID passports. I've been on my NHS app and checked. I can travel anywhere I want, I think, in the world. No problem. Fully vax. No, you need your 3rd. I says, no, I don't. I says, I've been on, checked through it. There's nothing stating anywhere in the UK you need 3 jabs. If you're under 50 and you've got no underlying health conditions, 2 jabs is enough. And as proof, I rang up the COVID helpline number and my own genuine NHS thing you log into, and I've got a genuine COVID passport, whatever you want to call it, vaccination passport. They say, oh, you can't come on board, it's not enough. It says who? So, oh, well, if it's been more than 270 days since your jab, you're no longer covered. I said, that's a load of rubbish. I said, otherwise, why would NHS have just issued me a new, since I hadn't logged on for a while, they had just issued me a brand new, up-to-date COVID passport. Oh, no, it's our rules now. I says, also, now third-party companies can actually make rules above and beyond the government guidelines. I think we're getting into dangerous things here, people. If Ambassador, for example, can set rules above and beyond the government guidelines, who says McDonald's, Tesco, Asda, Morrison's, whoever? So if we let these big companies start to take over the world and control we're going to be in a bit of a shit state, aren't we, if we can't go into McDonald's for a burger, Asda to do our shopping without having to hold your arm out every 270 days and get a jab, otherwise you'll be refused entry. I did not realise that. But anyways, they sent me the terms and I says, I'm not accepting this. This is downright discrimination. I says, we've had 2 jabs, we've got a COVID passport, and I said, you are actually refusing us on board of that ship, when everybody before they get on the ship has to do a COVID test. So if we're negative, what difference does it make how many jabs we are? Especially the fact we've had 2, not none. I find that highly offensive. So, anyways, they got back to it. I put a complaint in. I said, can you get the chief executive of Ambassador to tell me what exactly they're playing at? Sent us a terms and conditions through, their terms and conditions, and it did actually state on there that you require to have one shot COVID jab or the 2 jabs, or for underlying health conditions or your country of origin, which the UK only needs 2, you're happy to have 2. If not, you need to have a 3rd or a 4th. So I got back to the chief executive and they said, oh, sorry, we didn't realise that yous had both your jabs. Even though that was the whole point why I was so annoyed and irate about it. That was a pathetic excuse. So yeah, it took basically a dyslexic mechanic to prove wrong a executive of Ambassador Cruise Lines. So what do you guys think? I personally think Here's Travel were completely in the wrong, because I think it should have been on the advert, and they claimed that there wasn't space on the advert to add it, even though the advert consisted of about 6 to 7 paragraphs, photographs and emojis, that they couldn't add 3 words, 3 jabs required, or 3 vaccinations required, whatever you want to say. So I find it's very poor that I spoke on the phone twice and used Messenger to them, and they didn't once ask before taking my money about this until 15 minutes after booking. So I think Here's Travel are in the wrong, and I also think Ambassador are also in the wrong, because they've made their terms and conditions, refused us entry, and actually found when they reviewed their terms and conditions that I was right. But then they had to use a excuse of, sorry sir, we didn't realise that you had your 2 jabs, when they did, because that's why I was kicking off about it. So anyways, we've decided to rebook up, but I want 3 things from them. 1, that this COVID test that they want me to do to come on board is free, which they have agreed that it is. Secondly, if between now and then they bring on the face masks, carry on, I want my money back. I'm not walking around or sleeping on a flipping ship when it's not even setting sail wearing a mask. And the third thing is, if for whatever reason any nonsense is brought in that everyone's forced to have a 3rd jab for whatever reason, because I'll not be getting it, that's my personal opinion, guys. I understand yous out there may feel differently about it, but I think if I've had 2 and they're trying to force 3 on you, now there's a 4th, there'll be a 5th come Christmas. I'm 33, I don't want to be having 2 and 3 injections every year when they decide there's new variants out. I work in a garage here, I really should be up to date with all these other things you get for stuff, and everybody should really be getting flu jabs every year, which I never have. So I'm not really going to start doing it for COVID. I understand people have been very ill, I have top respect for that, but this is mine, my partner, I think a lot of other people I've spoke to, his opinion about it. 2's enough for now. Then I may, like I say, in 5 years' time or something, consider a 5th as a booster. But I'm not getting 2, and then the next month they decide there's a 3rd. Then, like they've done now, 6 months later they decide there's a 4th. I think it's a little bit too up in the air for now. But more certainly, just to have a one-night experience on a cruise liner and not go anywhere, I'm certainly not going to put my arm out and get a jab. When you would have, if they're right what they're saying, every 270 days, come April 23, you would be out here 270 days anyway, and you'd require a 4th. So let us know what you think. Sorry to ramble on a little bit, but there's not a great deal else in the day to show. I just wanted to hear your opinions on that. But we were really offended with that. I think that's downright discrimination to say that you can't come on board unless you've had 3, when actually you only needed 2. But my point is, if everybody tests negative, what's the issue? What's the big deal? It doesn't really make a great deal of sense. I just think if we'll start letting these big companies overrule the government guidelines, I think that's where we're going to come into some sticky positions in life, generally. So anyways, leave that there. I'll catch you on tomorrow, on Thursday's vlog, and we've got a little guest, I think, tomorrow. Or Friday, Charlie, I think it'll be Friday. I think he's staying at mine Thursday night, and he's going to come to work with me till 2 o'clock on Friday. So we'll have a little special helper in on Friday. So anyways, catch you soon. Sorry to ramble on, but I would like to hear your opinions on it. I'm not dissing COVID, I'm not saying this, all this, but what do you think about that experience we've had? And up to now, they've offered with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Barely even an apology, and I find that really bottom of the line. Holly's just wants to cancel it, but I says don't give them that appreciation, because they'll have our cabin sold like that. I said, so really, you're just spiting your own nose, really. We want to have a night away, and we do want to experience it. So anyways, leave it there. Catch you Thursday, guys. Thought I'd add this at the weekly vlog rather than doing a separate video for not much work. I just wanted to show these 2 cars next to each other. There's probably at least 20 years between them, maybe. I mean, this is 93. I don't know what year this is. I think it's maybe 2010, something like that. It's got an Irish plate on it. Just thought it would be a good one to show PSA's development. I know obviously this is Citroen, that's Peugeot, same thing. But 1993, somewhere around 2010, I think. And there's still quite a lot of similarities. This is the TU3 engine. So we'll start off on this one. They did do this in a carburettor form, but this obviously, like on the side, 1.4i injection. This is the TU3s. This is single point injection. So it's more or less the same setup as the one with the carburettor, but with single point injection. There. But just to show you how far things come, so have a good look at that. to this is the very last development of the TU3. So you've got multi-point injection, you've got the cat which sits on the manifold, you've got an oil cooler, there'll be loads more, obviously slightly different rocker cover, but all very similar to one another. I just thought I would show that in there, how things have changed. To be honest, far better the earlier ones. As you can see, it's got a huge downpipe. That's really big for one of these. No cat restricting your flow. There is one further back. The old easy to go manage coil pack there. Plug leads. Nice, simple, what used to be a carburettor. Single flap on the intake. You know, so things have... It's amazing between 93 and 2010 how much kind of stuff still similar, still there. You'll have a look around, you'll notice quite a few similar things still exist here and there, even, you know, down to the gearboxes, things like that. That's the 5-speed. So I just thought I'd show you that. So anyways, moving on from that, as we know from the original videos, there was an area here which didn't look too good, mainly because this area was never intended to be seen on these, because nearly all of them had power steering, bar the 1400s. Even the 1400s, it was an option. So this area always had a great big black box down to about here, a tank for the power steering. So I've tidied that up, which I think looks great. I'm not going over... What I didn't want to do is spray stuff everywhere. I want to just try and keep it. I haven't done every little bit. I want to just keep it as original looking as possible. Same with down on that bit. Same with along there. So I thought that's really tidied things up. There was a few little bits on the... I don't know why, but the driver's doors, not the passengers. On the corner, there was a tiny little imperfection, which I've obviously treated with Cure Rust. Same with everything under the bonnet. And on the driver's door as well. What I am going to do on these wiper arms, I'm going to think about it overnight tonight, is debate whether to paint these with some satin black. I've already got these lifted. Ready for to do it. Again, a lad came in the garage before as well, and I was saying, I wonder if I should spend some money and see what I mean, that little crease there and scratch off these rogue kids that did the damage. And there's one little scratch there. But I've got to decide, are we going to make this car concourse, or is it a usable 1993 car, which is in very, very good condition, but at the same time, does it need to be perfect? No. It's in good condition as it stands. I don't think getting this quarter panel beaten, repainted, then you would lose all these. I know they're getting a little bit hard up, these pinstripes, but it's been so long since I've had a car with pinstripes. I don't even know if these are original. I haven't got a clue if somebody's done these or not. But if I did get this painted, I would either have to decide to take the pinstripes off or get new ones on. So really what I might do is try my best to do as neat as possible job on that. And on that little section of this one, and see how we get on. I don't know. So that's all I've done up to now. I'll come round to this area here, but I do think even the lad who come in to see, he says maybe don't do the wipers, but I think that wiper arm looks a bit naff with rust shown on it. I think I'll definitely be doing the front one, and I'll consider doing the back one. Providing that the spindles come off okay. If they're too tight, I'll be leaving it, and I ain't going to be spraying black paint around, spray paint on a white car. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I've got the satin black here, professional 7-year stuff as well, 8-year stuff even, so we'll do that. The timing belt, like I've mentioned, I'm going to take the top cover off, see if the tensioner's able to get a hold of. The car's still perfectly usable as it is. It's only done not even 800 mile, if that, and when's that? This year? When's that? April. So it's perfectly fine. Even if I've got to drive it to the car show like this, I will. And the only other thing is, as we've seen, they're all Goodyear efficiency grips, all 3 brand spankers, and then we've got this like sort of like budget tyre on the back. £65 it's going to cost us, but that really does my OCD, and it lets the car down. Having the proper, like the lad who come in before used to be a tyre fitter, he was like, oh, it's even got the original, like what they class as Citroen tyres on them, Citroen Peugeot tyres, which these are. So I think I will spend the 60 quid and get the tyre at the other side, so the tyres are sorted. And I don't really think it needs a great deal more. I don't want to go over the top of this one. I want to actually use it. It's taxed, so I want to use it all of the month of August, September. As soon as I start spreading the salt, it'll be coming off the road. I just wish I had storage for it. Thought I would add that into this week's vlog, then putting a short video out for nothing, and I think I might start doing that to save us some time. Little bits I do on my projects, I'll filter them in to my weekly vlogs. It just works better for me. But yeah, that's up to now what I'm doing. I've got the little touch-up pen for those marks with a really like razor sharp brush on it. And what else have I got on my list to do? Oh yeah, I don't know why, but this indicator isn't working. I'm hoping it's just a bulb. What else? Time belts. Yes, fuel. E5 fuel. I'm not used to having an older car. I'm going to have to go over to Costco's to get that. Oh yes, that is one thing which I've got to pick up. I'm going to hopefully get a picture from the dealership. I want to park this at the Citroen dealer. The only other thing that lets this car down, shown where, bearing in mind it's only got 53,000 mile on, is that brake pedal rubber. It's just getting a little bit worn on that corner, which I'm not too happy about. And no, even from new, these did not come with the pedal. I was going to put a bit of black paint on it, but I'm not sure if that might look naff. But that's how they come from factory. The clutch one's fine, but I've getting one of these for like, I think it's 10 quid. Going to change that foot brake rubber. And bar that, I think it's into minor little things over time I'll do to it. So, thought I would that bit in. Same with the engines, with the other car being here. I'll catch you on tomorrow's vlog on Thursday. Welcome to Thursday's vlog. Thought I'll do a quick video now while I've got a spare 2 minutes, because there's a lot going on the day. Few unusual vehicles in, which I just thought I would run through with you. First up, you might have seen this one on a couple of other videos when I saw that. Transporter, 15 plate. Disability converted one. Well, I'm going to take it up because we need to have a look at the exhaust hangers, and I want to show you some of the adaptions that they do underneath. But I thought I was cracking up with this van because we've been doing it for a lot of years, and I looked at the top and I thought, I don't remember this thing having a like a lift up roof in it. And my dad just said that they've just had it done. I'm just curious, I wonder how much one of them would be. I bet you it won't be cheap. But obviously with these all being camper vans, it'll be a nice easy conversion for the people who do it. So yeah, I think that's a really good idea, that, because obviously they have a wheelchair in the back, so that obviously allows you, when you're parked up, to be able to stand up inside. So I don't know why more disability vehicles don't have that on. Plus, if it's ever sold on as for it to be a camper van, it'd be a perfect thing. So yeah, I'll just open this door. I'll show you what it. You really can't tell the difference on the inside. So you can see all the the gas struts and bits around there and whatnot. But obviously I've noticed straight away they've had to move the electronic controls for the rear ventilation to here, because they used to be over there somewhere. Oh, actually, hold on. Ah, right. This used to have... Ah, that's not a very good thing to have. This used to have full rear air conditioning in the roof. It used to be across here. I remember now. It used to be across here, 3 vents, and it used to be across there. So, unless there's been something else put in, they've lost the air conditioning for the rear. They've got the heating still. The heating works down at the back, but they've lost all of the rear air conditioning on it. Didn't think that. It used to have all those. They had all the vents across. Had the 3 there and the 3 there. It's all been ripped out. So they've lost all the rear air conditioning. They'll still have the heating. Oh. But yeah, that's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? Either be able to stand up in the back or lose the air conditioning. And as you can see, none of these side windows open either. It still has got air conditioning in the front. What's your opinions on that, viewers? What would you like to lose rear? Bearing in mind there's a disabled person in the back, would you like to lose your rear air conditioning or be able to stand up in the back? It's a bit of a strange one, that. I didn't realise. So anyways, that's this. Clearly it's fully converted, this van. Like it's been cut at the back. It's got the ramp there. This is what I'm mentioning about the rear air heating. It has got the heating in the back. Down there, it blows out of those. But yeah, lost all the ventilation in the back for fresh air and air conditioning. So, funny enough with this one, there's a story behind it. I actually bought, years ago, obviously that previous vehicle was a T-Reg, what was it again? Toyota Hiace, the van off them. And that's how I ended off. Crikey, that'll be going back more than 10, 15, got to be 10, more than 10 years. And we've had these customers ever since. They're lovely people. The only thing is, what they're not keen on with this van is what Volkswagen advised to them, that every 4 years the timing belt needs done, which in theory they're correct, but it's cost them a lot of money because they don't do many miles to have to keep getting this cam belt done, because it's just your 2 litre TDI what's fitted in most cars, to be honest, in here. So yeah, that's to be aware of if you're buying one of these. Theoretically, you're probably fine pushing it past the 4 years as long as you're not doing huge mileage, but to keep things correct, these are a very expensive vehicle just for the belts alone to keep on the road. So that's that. Anyways, you'll have seen in the background, got this beautiful S-Class in, S320D, which is your, obviously, CDI, which is your V6 3.2. Not sure if I think these are the twin turbo, possibly. I'm not that clued up on them. But I think that's still a beautiful looking car, me. It really is. And I've just drove it down from the guy's house, and I'm telling you what, like, if I had to choose to pick a car to do a continental drive, you know, like down to the south of France or something like that, if they did these in an estate, what would be better for me, for my family and luggage and the dogs, be one of these all day long. And this is just the baby of the range, remember. They do the S500s, which have got everything on, but this is just massively specced out. Beautiful. What this is in for, he's just recently bought it. It's had an oil and filter change and a gearbox filter oil change. So this guy's followed my advice. He watches my channel, and every car that I buy, he always watches me videos, and he's done exactly what I do. First thing he did, you've seen this I think on a video, Bosch wipers. He wants a full service done, apart from the oil and filter, because it's been done when he bought it. I've just done these pollen filters, because there's 2 of on these. They're not too bad, actually. Genuine Mercedes ones. But like I've said, genuine Mercedes, they're just micro air. And micro air pretty much are the same as Bosch, made by the same company. So you pay a fortune for them for nothing. So, pollen filter's done. That was underneath the glove box. Wasn't actually too bad to do. And what else we've got here is the fuel filter to do. Nice man one for him there. And he's lucky because it hasn't got the sensor on the top, but it has got something you can remove. So instead of it being 60 or 80 quid, it's going to be a lot less for him. So yeah, fuel filter, and he wants the air filters done. Air filters, yep, that's 2 air filters. So once all them's done, it's had the full service done. But it's nice to see people following my advice. He's getting a new car, and he's just done everything exactly the same way I would. So good on him. So we'll get that done. He's currently away at work, so there's not too much of a hurry for this, but it is a big car for sitting around the garage. The sooner it's out the way, the better. And the other thing we've got in is this, exactly the same as my partner's spec one, the design, but this is the 1900 diesel Fiat engine. Ones to watch for, like I was mentioning about me, if you remember, I did a video on the unsung hero of the fleet, my partner's Astrax. It's a 17 diesel Fiat engine, these, so they're a bit of a nightmare for the water pumps going. This is the 8-valve 120. They do a 150 brake horsepower 16-valve of the same engine, but it's the gearboxes in these, the M32s. Be very, very careful. They're quite, well, not saying they're quite regularly, they always go wrong if they haven't been repaired previously. So, yeah, but the only thing with the 1900s, though, is they have huge front brakes. Have you seen the size of those discs? They're a 16-inch wheel, and them calipers are nearly touching. The 17s don't actually get that. There we go, there's a sign instead of design. Just realised that. I don't know if somebody's actually done that on purpose. Sign. I've took the letters off that. It's a sign. So, yeah, design spec. Like I've said, I think somebody's been on doing a bit of the old hand painting on this. I noticed that on the mirror before. Yeah, it's tidied it up okay, like, for what it is. But yeah, same spec as hers. This is in for an oil and filter, an air filter. I've done the air filter this morning. Oil filters are a bit of a pain on these because it fills the subframe full of black oil, which you don't want for going on a customer's drive. So you've got to spend your time to do it right. Forgot to mention, this is in for MOT. Remember, it's class 4 because it's a dual-purpose vehicle. It's not classed as a commercial because it's got seats in the back. Obviously, it's a disability vehicle. It's a multi-purpose vehicle, an MPV. This is in for oil and filter. The air filter's actually going back for it because they've done hardly any miles since last year, which the air filter, and somewhere down there, the fuel filter was done here. So it doesn't need that's why we always look back at what was done the year before, so nobody's getting ripped off. They only get done what they require. So yeah, and obviously the S-Class, like I mentioned, that's in for servicing. So I'll pause it now. I'll take this up and I'll just show you a little bit of the work that they do on these things to do a conversion. The only other thing I am going to do, if I get 2 minutes, and I may add it into this week's vlog, is on the little ZX over there, I'm going to remove the wiper arm, give them a bit spray with some satin black, and get it ready for the show. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow, get a quick look at the timing tensioner and take a tiny little bit of pressure off it, so to stop that awful noise and over tensioning the belt and putting pressure on the tensioner. So I'll come back to you when we've got those few bits done and this transporter up on the lift, because I've got a plan what we're going to do to rectify what seems to be an ongoing fault with this, where the exhaust rubbers keep perishing, but on a yearly basis. And I think it's down to they don't do many miles in this van, it's all locally. And I think the DPF's getting choked up and it's constantly trying to regen every time it gets the chance. Hence, it's getting very hot all the time. So I've got an idea, which I'll come back to you and I'll show you what we're going to put underneath.